Hello guys and welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. Once again I'm Greg and this is the Starting 11 show where I'll give you all of the injury updates that we've had for the week and my predicted starting lineup. This time it's for Saturday's game against Leeds. What a game that could be for the neutral, right? You've got two teams who outside of the bottom three have the worst defensive records in the league. We have a real tendency to make mistakes and Leeds tend just to throw everything forward and leave themselves a little exposed at the back. But you've also got two teams who can attack and then can attack quite stylishly. So I think we could see a high-scoring game. But again, for the neutral, it should be quite an exciting one. For an Everton fan, it's going to be 90 minutes of pure nerves, I imagine. So in terms of the injury news, we've had the very, very bad news that Luca Dean is out for 2, maybe 3 months. He's going to have to do a little bit of surgery before he goes into rehab. And obviously Seamus Coleman is still out. He's got his individual rehab going on at the moment. So we're kind of without our best fullbacks. So going into the team, I kind of ballsed up a bit last week. I'll be the first to admit it. I did not predict that we'd play a bank of 5 at the back with Iwobi at right wing back. If you did predict that yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. You've clearly got some sort of supernatural powers that I am not blessed with. I thought it was quite a weird decision. I would never have said wing-back for Iwobi would be a good place. I know he's got energy, but I've always seen him as a better player centrally. I've never thought he was as effective as a winger, and so stripping him even further back down the pitch, I couldn't have seen that. I couldn't have foreseen that happening. But Carlo Ancelotti is obviously a world-class manager, and I think what we saw from that change of formation is that his teams this season are going to be a little harder to predict than I thought they would be. First few games, he reverted to this team that worked and we were seeing results. And now that we're struggling, we're seeing him change things up. He's quite pragmatic. He's quite practical. He's not afraid to go and match a team's shape or adjust for what the other team's doing. He will very much look into another team's tactics as opposed to some managers who maybe get lazy and think, this is the team that works. This is my best team. This is what I'm going to play week in, week out without any kind of change, without any kind of budge or tactical nous. But what we're seeing from Ancelotti is that he is not afraid to go and shake things up a little bit. That being said, I think we'll see the same formation this week as we saw last week, just with a couple of little changes here or there. So starting off in goal, always a hot topic, but I'm always going to put Pickford in at the moment until Olsen gets a few more games, just because I think that's Carlo Ancelotti's go-to. I do like Olsen. Well, I liked his one cameo, and I think he's a little bit more solid. I don't know if this is actually a consideration, but I feel like maybe he makes the defenders in front of him feel a little bit more confident. That was just that awful passage of play, wasn't there, last week, where Iwobi from near the halfway line shanked the ball back to Pickford. Pickford sort of hit it first time up in the air, and then it bounced down onto Michael Keane's arm. That just showed the composure we have at the back, and I feel like Pickford as the goalkeeper should be the part of that chain where it ended. Iwobi as a wing back who shouldn't be there necessarily. You can understand him making the mistake, but then when Pickford gets involved and it makes the process even worse, you think that's a position where you want someone just to calm things down. I feel like Olsen has that calming aura more than Pickford, but I'm going to go with Pickford for now. At right wing back, I'm going to choose Iwobi again. I think the fact that he was chosen over John Joe Kenny, who we know has a good ability to go forward but not to defend so much, shows where Carlo Ancelotti rates Kenny. I think maybe it's the fairy tale with Everton is over for Kenny as long as Ancelotti's in charge. For Iwobi to be selected, and I can't see why he wouldn't be selected again. That's one of my favourite Iwobi. Not that there's much to choose from, but one of my favourite Iwobi performances so far for Everton. And then in the back three, I think we might see one change. I think we'll still see Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane, who played fairly well. But I think Holgate might come in for Mina, assuming that his fitness is now back 100%. Mina he's not had the best start to the season. I think he's part of the reason our defences look shaky. He's almost got that unpredictability like Pickford does. You don't know what he's going to do when the ball comes to him or someone comes to him with the ball. Is he going to back off too much? Is he going to lunge in? Tough to say, but it's an element of unpredictability we don't need. I think Holgate's a better player personally. Then on the left, obviously with Dean out, it leaves us a little conundrum. Is it Nkunku? Probably. or is it Delph? I think if we were playing a flat back, it would be Delph, or it could be Delph. But I feel like with a wing back where we need a bit of energy and a bit more hustle, I feel like Nkunku will probably fit the role better. He's definitely got the legs to play the role more than Delph does. I feel like he's got a bit of je ne sais quoi going forwards into the box. You know, you don't know quite what he's going to do, whereas you can imagine Delph is probably going to half cook a ball, whip a ball in, and it's not going to clear the first man. So I think we'll probably see him on the left. The two in the bank of midfield is quite obvious. I think it'll be Doucouré sat next to Allen. Doucouré played fantastically against Fulham. One of my men of the match. My man of the match shout. Popped up for his goal. I think he's showing what he can do going forward, as well as covering on that side. I think he had a little less to do on the right this time, so he could get forward a little bit more, and I think that suited him well with the shape change. Allen next to him, of course, is our only disruptive or properly disruptive midfielder. And then the front three, you kind of take the formation as it is. It very much ebbs and flows and swells and changes as we attack and defend, but it's going to be we'll take it in this order for now. James just in front of Allen and Doucouré, but obviously when we attack, he's sometimes more out on the right, sorry. But I think he suits being central a bit more because, as I said, it gives Doucouré, Iwobi provides the width more than James has to. His responsibilities aren't being dragged out, and I think he can get involved a little bit more. But obviously, it changes. And then in that case, it would be the front two of Calvert-Lewin, can't stop scoring, and Richarlison, who has, or when he came back in against Fulham, provided so much in terms of the graft he puts in. He's unwaveringly direct. He's happy just to get his head up and run, try and take a shot on, and I love that about him. But he also gets back and does his work as well, and lets Calvert-Lewin stay where he needs to stay, which is just right next to the goalkeeper or right off the shoulder of the last defender, so that he can pop up and get the goals that he's getting. So I think that's my team, guys. Pickford in goal, Iwobi, Godfrey, Keane, Holgate and Nkunku. A midfield of Doucouré, Allen and James just in front, but also out, and then Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison just in front. Let me know what you guys think. Would you have Delphin? Would you have John Joe Kenny in? Robin Olsen in? Would you leave Mina in? Any other changes? Let me know. The shape, would you change that completely? Let me know your team in the comments below. Let's hope we can keep the good form on. I think it's going to be an entertaining game regardless, and let's just hope it turns out our way. I'll see you guys next week. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well.